So if you didn't know, CoinCheck just lost $500 million in XEM. So I don't know if this is a surprise to you or not, but not to me. All these exchanges recently being hacked, and then we recently had 8 major South Korean exchanges get fined over $100,000 each for poor security practices. So we thought that this was going to motivate exchanges to have more security. And we see here with this hack that it started, when CoinCheck, realized that they had all this NEM move from one of their hot wallets to another wallet. So they called NEM, the NEM hotline, trying to figure out what was going on. And basically NEM tried to work with them to figure out what was going on and come up with a solution so that this hacker was not selling these NEM and getting money. We've seen this happen multiple times over the past with Ether, doing hard forks to recover huge amounts. But NEM doesn't want to do this because they want to be decentralized, cryptocurrency where they don't go in and enforce things, where they don't go in and change transaction history. That would ruin the point of a blockchain if people are going in and meddling with the transactions like this that a hard fork would end up doing. But we have then CoinCheck doing a press release, which was in Japanese, and Bloomberg seemed to be the first to report on this and translate it, which makes sense. They have people in every country. So then the exchange, we realized the exchange headquarters is located in the same area of Tokyo as Mt. Gox was. This is an interesting fact. Then news started reporting that it was a bigger hack than Mt. Gox, and that might make sense at the time, but if you look at the Mt. Gox losses, they're worth over $7 billion, around $9 billion, some people say, today. So $500 million compared to $9 billion, I think the Mt. Gox hack was a little bit bigger. And this is one good thing about having many exchanges and not one exchange that controls and holds a lot of these cryptocurrencies. Although NEM did say that CoinCheck did not get a discount on these coins, and a lot of them were probably the $300 million worth of coins that they bought directly off NEM at value, at market value. Although they were end user wallets. So what is CoinCheck? What is NEM going to do about these users who lost their funds? So the NEM was moved from one wallet using the hack and then split up over multiple wallets to try to deter tracking and flagging of the funds. And this was done probably after NEM announced that they were going to flag the funds and give out news to all exchanges that if they receive these funds, to freeze them and give them back to their rightful owner. So fungibility, though, is a concern for users. And if each coin is identical to each other, then only certain actions can be taken, right? You can't really say these coins are worth $0 and these coins are worth more. That would take away the fungibility that these coins bring value to. So half of the value of these coins is their fungibility. I know if Monero took that out of their coins, a lot of people would lose faith in Monero and the value would go down. And this is what happened with NEM after they started facing scrutiny. its value decreased up to 20% following the hack. Some fixes suggested online range from hard forks to turn back the ledger and force the transaction to never have been done or have never happened, flagging the coins so whichever exchanges they try to cash out on will return them to their owner, or trying to track down the thefts. You know, use law enforcement, rely on law enforcement to find the perpetrators of this crime, but that probably won't have, you know, an outcome for a long, long time, as it's not really, you know, the law enforcement's interest. It's not their top priority to find these people. And but you never know, FBI could actually do their job for once. Another suggested fix would be to use better security measures from now on, including NEM's built-in, you know, multi-signature wallet that CoinCheck should have been using. There's no excuse for them not using this. And the NEM team is now trying to use the flag method and refuses to do a hard fork. Since they did nothing wrong, the blockchain is working how it's supposed to, and they want the project to be less centralized and not force any outcomes. On Twitter, users are told that they will be compensated in the Japanese yen. So this is all of the updates on this story. So we will share with you, though, the NEM team's interview and what they're saying on this issue after we go over what's going on Twitter and Reddit. So we see CoinDesk here says a quote from NEM: "We will not hard fork to restore funds. The NEM blockchain is a transparent, immutable ledger." The NEM team also said, "We are helping with tagging the stolen XEM, and we are relaying the affected addresses to exchanges." NEM team, that's by the NEM team. Other people are saying, yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it, fungibility. Another person saying, I got my first Bitcoin in 2011, and yet I still don't understand what NEM is. I remember Tone Vase once said, I used to not understand projects and would thus think I am the idiot. I realize now that when I don't understand a project, they're the idiots. Someone else says, NEM is now dead to me. Someone saying, the exchange got compromised, so what's your reasoning here? Someone explains what a hard fork is. So NEM isn't dead. The accounts involved in the hack are tagged with NEM mosaics, and exchanges informed. Loss of businesses using NEM for API for blockchain solutions, which has nothing to do with CoinCheck. And this is one of NEM's supposed strong suits. They have a very strong API. Reddit users are going crazy as well here. So we see, I like this comment here. To the people worried about fungibility, they need to remember that this blacklist via tagging is not centrally enforceable. It is an opt-in tool that the exchanges can use to avoid stolen NEM in their discretion. NEM, or XEM, in their discretion. NEM Foundation cannot enforce this blacklist, so it's not a problem in relation to centralization. So he also then explains what it would look like, how an account receives, say, 100 plus stolen NEM. XEM system then flags the account via mosaics and includes link to PSA, public service announcement. It explains instructions on where to return the stolen funds. The account holder sends the stolen funds to the recovery account. Flag is removed from the account. In reality, they can't automatically remove the flag, so they could put then a second flag that designates the account was cleared. So let's now, also we have Bits Online here. As CoinCheck promises hack reimbursement, NEM scrutiny grows. CoinCheck saying, we're good for it, you can trust us. The same thing I remember happened with Bitfinex, and what Bitfinex did to reimburse the users was they created a BFX or Bitfinex coin overnight, gave it a certain amount of value, say $1, and then gave that back to the users. Then people started selling it because nobody wanted this random coin, and the value crashed. So then leaving users kind of in a BitConnect type mess where they're holding a coin that has no value. So I was involved in that one. I was not involved in this CoinCheck because it was mainly a Japan exchange, and it seemed to be a user-friendly, easy-to-use exchange, kind of like Coinbase in the States. So it was the Coinbase of Japan. Interesting also that their headquarters was very close to the Mt. Gox headquarters. Maybe the same attacker, maybe not. Let's just hear now what the NEM team has to say about this.
So I have Jeff McDonald, who is the VP of the NEM Foundation, is with us today, and we're going to talk about the special announcement where we had a theft of some XEM coins from the CoinCheck Exchange. It happened yesterday, and the NEM team and the CoinCheck team has been working together to try and resolve the best they can the situation. So I brought in Jeff because there's been a lot of speculation and things going around, and so Jeff, if you could just give us an overview of the situation for people who are just tuning in, and then kind of your stance on what you think will happen over the course of the next few days.
Right, so there's still a lot of unknowns, but I can say that I've had a meeting with the CoinCheck team, and we feel very bad for their losses. What we know is that somebody has removed more than 500 million XEM from their wallet, and that the CoinCheck team is trying to do as much as they can to figure out what happened. And we at the NEM Foundation are reaching out to them and talking with them and trying to support them as much as we can. But yeah, right now, there's still a lot of information that needs to be known, but generally speaking, we are trying to help them. We are tracking the funds that have been taken, and we are at the NEM Foundation, we're tagging every account that has the funds in them, and we are currently reaching out to exchanges to try to halt any deposits that are made with those XEMs. And that's one of, as bad as the situation is, that's one of the great things about NEM is that it has a very powerful API, and with just adding one API to any deposit, exchanges are going to be able to see if stolen funds were deposited to it. So we're working to see with exchanges to see if we can make that happen.
Okay, some of the community had asked, do you think that the XEM coin that was stolen by the hacker is going to actually go back to the clients? That is, we have a bunch of questions that are coming in on Twitter, and that's one of the ones from one of the community members. They were curious about that.
So you're asking, is the hacker going to give the money back to CoinCheck?
No. Is the NEM stolen? Is it possible to ever give it back to the original, to CoinCheck?
So I don't want to speculate that on that too much, because I don't know how profitable CoinCheck is. They've basically lost $500 million worth of XEM, and if they had $1 billion in the bank, then they would be able to cover the losses pretty easily. I don't know how much money they have. So that's really going to be something for them to look into. And I haven't spoke to them about that.
Yeah, this is something that you and I have talked about before, but with any exchange that actually carries XEM, they're actually buying it out of their own pocket. So this isn't, they're not buying it at a discount. They're buying it at the same price that everyone else gets it. That's why actually we're not on every single change, right? Because the NEM Foundation has a very hard stance on selling at a discount. So this is actually, this actually hurts CoinCheck a lot because it actually hits their bottom line.
Yeah, it does. CoinCheck actually, I feel really bad because I've met the CoinCheck team in person. They're really nice guys. And they have they were basically known in Japan as being a very easy to use exchange and very friendly. And so they were very popular. But we do know that a long time ago, because of the way that CoinCheck operates, they did buy 300 million XEM. So it's not known how much of the stolen XEM was actually CoinCheck XEM or how much of the XEM was actually user funds that had been deposited by users. So that remains a little bit to be seen, but we can expect that there's probably some mix of the both of the two of those.
What happened? You know, did we find out right away? Was there an email sent out? You know, is there a hotline? Like, what happens in a case like this? You know, they're asking about the visibility into when an exchange gets hacked, because we've been pretty transparent about everything from the minute we knew.
Yeah, last night, so NEM basically has a hotline, and last night the CoinCheck team reached out on our hotline and to report a problem, and then we answered their call, and then fairly quickly after that I was able to have a video conference with them and start to discuss our options. And that's when we decided that the NEM Foundation was going to start to tag and track the funds for CoinCheck.
Another thing that the community has asked is there's not a possible way to recover or by force the XEM. And one of the things that I'm seeing a lot is people are asking, you know, can't NEM just stop it? But it doesn't really work that way. So if you could explain why you just can't stop a transaction like that.
So there's a couple things. When the funds were moved out of CoinCheck, it would appear that all of the funds were in a hot wallet that basically had an exposed API and probably an exposed private key. I really wish they would have been using NEM's multi-signature contract, and that would have probably saved them all of these problems. Now, that being said, once the funds were taken from CoinCheck, they're on the blockchain, and there's no way to go back and change the history of the blockchain without a hard fork. And for us, a hard fork is not an option. The NEM protocol worked exactly as it was designed to work, and it was a problem that the funds were taken, but the only way to try to recover the funds via force would be with a hard fork, and we don't consider that to be an option at all because the NEM system is working correctly. So it's a terrible thing, but I think that if the funds were going to be returned, it would have to be the hacker returning them to the CoinCheck.
And they've stated that, and just so we're clear, everyone, you know, we have a good relationship with CoinCheck. They're good people, and so they made a mistake by not putting in accurate security measures. Their COO actually went on live television and talked to the media about this, and so we're not interested in throwing anyone under the bus. What we're interested in is talking about using this as an example of what to do and what not to do. And right now, what not to do is
they had all of this money on their hot wallet, and this is the account of the hacker. He already split it between many accounts, but he originally deposited all of them, the XEMs, into this address. And the NEM Foundation is working hard to track every address that this money was split into, and they are tagging it. They are creating alerts for other exchanges to not acknowledge withdrawals from and deposits from those accounts that the funds were splitted into. And yeah, the NEM Foundation, they won't make any fork, so it's almost like 5% of the total funds, but there won't be any fork on the NEM because it's completely not NEM fault. It's like exchange just lost their private key. I asked the NEM team members what are the facts already, and being honest, the CoinCheck exchange, they still doesn't know what happened. Maybe it was some kind of bug in the API that allowed to withdraw. Maybe someone just stole the private key, and yeah, this is just unfortunately. And I already told you guys like 6 months ago, it was like July 2nd. July 2nd, that this exchange CoinCheck purchased like 300 million ZEM at that time. So probably some of this stolen ZEM was from this purchase, and I think that's a good news because it's like they didn't lost probably 500 million of them from the clients' wallets. Some of those ZEMs were also the exchange money. So
Workchain, I just got the news. I can be a millionaire too. Check the OP, what did he do? Gas in his bag so they go to the moon. Spent half an eighth, I got 1 million coins like the real McCoy. You know I feel that joy, cause if it goes to a buck, I won't believe my luck. And I 10 on my Lambos for me and my friends.